Hey everyone, welcome to Ghost Prime Reviews. So I'll take a look at my first Legacy figure, which is Legacy Prime Universe Arcee. And so this is a kind of a updated, downgraded version of Arcee, the Arcee character from Transformers Prime. She's supposed to more represent a Generation 1 styling, and I'm not sure they hit that mark. But, you know, of course she turns into a motorcycle. It doesn't have a lot of the spiky bits that time is known for, the design in that time is known for. She's okay. So I'm going to go over what I do and don't like about this in this review. So I hope you stick around for it. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, comment, and give a thumbs up. It actually means a lot to me. It can really help my channel. I really do need the help. Tell your friends. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, here she is in the package. Now, this is the new Legacy packaging. As I'm sure you guys probably already seen pictures of it. It's got the wild colors. It's completely multicolored. And one thing I really don't like is this is tiny. It's very hard to read. At least from far away. You get up close, so you can see it, but it's, you know, and it says Prime Universe Arcee, which is what it is, but it's like, I don't know, it's really small. It's here. I don't think it stands out. It's a pretty color combination, I'll say that. I do like the color combination. And the robot mode here, with the alt mode being here, which is pretty cool. It does have a lack of any plastic here, which, again, I mean, we're gonna see a lot of stolen heads, probably get in there. I don't know where the accessories are, maybe they're in the back. But it's, you know, we're just gonna see a lot of things being messed with on these, if not by people who are, you know, just want to be unscrupulous people who just want to steal heads and stuff, or kids that just might just play with them and do that. I don't think we're going to see a lot of these in the stores that are in really good shape. That's just my my prediction on what's happening. So I'm not really sure. Anyway, at the top we have the Transformers Legacy logo. On the side we have two different pictures, a close-up of the head and a body shot here. Again, the details do get washed out in all these colors. It doesn't really stand out. On the back, you can see the two modes, and you have this QR code here. So this QR code is like the tech specs, and when you go to it, you can scan it with your phone, you go to it, it will give you a URL, and it looks like this. Now on this side of the box, we have, it looks like what the line is there. You have Bulkhead, Blaster, Arcee, Prime, and Hot Rod, which is interesting. I don't know, maybe the Decepticon, maybe Kickback will be different. I don't have those coming yet. I'm still looking for them. They're not in my targets around the area yet, but hopefully soon. Now this box is a little bit, as you can see, a little bit messed up. I ordered this from Amazon and it was kind of crushed. I guess it could have been worse, but it's, yeah, kind of crushed a little bit. Anyway, let's get her opened up out of the box and check her out. We get a set of instructions done in a sort of lavender color. Pretty easy to read, like they should be. You get this little weapon or drone front tire thing. You get this Energon weapon, I guess, that you can split apart. Now these Energon weapons that they have in here are very much like Transformers Energon, where they combine. This is the only Legacy figure I have, but I'm not sure that I'm really happy with returning to the Transformers Energon gimmick, honestly, as I drop it. But that's okay. Let's moving on to the figure herself here. Let's get a look at that head sculpt, which I'm not, honestly, I'm not a big fan of. I don't think it looks very good. The features, if I get it, keep it in focus, the features don't look very sharp. They look kind of dulled out. I would like some, a little bit better features, some better sculpt work on it. Same with the chest. Like there's sculpt work here, but it's very flat, almost Cyberverse looking. So I'm not a huge fan of. I do, however, like the arm pieces here. They're very nice. Move down here, you got some paint on the legs. You got some just wheels hanging off the side. A backpack piece here. Now this technically is a separate piece. It will fall off constantly. As you can see, whoop, as I hit the camera, you can see right here is the slot. And there is the, where it slots in. It holds okay. It doesn't fall out like a lot, but transforming it, moving it around, it will. I understand why they did it, because this whole piece is done in a translucent plastic, and I guess they didn't want the same thing that happened to Jazz and the Datsuns, so they actually just sort of cut that piece all together and just had it be a tabbed in piece, which I guess is okay. It keeps it from breaking. I mean, otherwise, she looks okay. I unfortunately don't have the first edition one or the other Arcee. I never got this particular version of the character Arcee. I don't know why, actually. I guess I just never saw it in stores, and I really wanted the first edition, and I just didn't get it. Just one of those ones that just kind of escaped me. But I really love the first edition, and it has a lot of detail. This one doesn't really work on that. It's sort of like I said, it feels like a Cyberverse version of the character. It's supposed to be a Generation 1 version of the character, but I don't see that coming through. One of the design choices I especially don't like is the wheels hanging off the side. Now that's mainly for this character. I wouldn't mind it if this was another character, because the transformation I think is pretty good, and the bike mode is also very cool. So this weapon here is another weird thing. She's supposed to hold it like this in her hand, which kind of is hard to get in there. But it looks like she's holding a drone. It doesn't look like a gun. It doesn't have a missile, and it just is weird. I mean, it looks like a flying drone. That's what I get out of it. There is a couple things you could do with it though. So you can close it, and then when you close it, there's these little tabs. You can see the tabs, two tabs in a slot, and then 2 slots in a tab. You just kind of fold them up and line them up. I always have trouble doing this. There we go. Just tab those in like that, and it kind of makes the front wheel. And then you could stick that in the port on the back. So this is what you get out of that. And she actually stands up just fine because of the big heel spurs there. So she stands up pretty well with that, like that. So we could also, there's another way we could do it. Take it out here, open it back up like this, and let's move this down. There is a 5mm port right there. You could take it and just plug it in like that, and gives her sort of this look. Then I actually kind of like that look. Either one's fine. This, I give her some shoulders. It's kind of neat. I like that. Now this does hinder articulation of the arm for going 360 degrees a little bit. That's not that big of a deal for me. Moving on to a quick comparison. There she is with a first edition Optimus Prime. Because it's close to me, there's the shattered glass. So you get the idea of the size comparison. And I don't have Bulkhead yet, so here she is with Mirage, which is also the same size class as her, so they're very similar. Now, articulation-wise, it's pretty standard. Arm out to there. She does have a bicep swivel, elbow joint. Hands are actually on a joint, so that she does have wrist rotation, which is cool. Head is on a ball joint. You get some movement. You get full 360 with that. She has some waist movement, but it is kind of hindered by this piece. And you should kind of go back like that a little bit. Not too far. Go too far, it gets a little floppy. Legs have a lot of articulation, or a lot of movement. You can go all the way that far up, really far back. Knees, about 90 degrees, out that way. Thigh swivel, a little bit of thigh swivel. They got the same thing going on as Braun did from Suvi series. They got this sort of peg in there, which I guess is okay. Gives a little bit of movement. I guess that's as much as you need. She does have a little bit, I guess enough A-frame sort of. You want to give her an A-frame stance? Oh, she can do a lot more than that. Maybe I'm just not pushing that all the way. Oh yeah, she got a lot right there with the ankle tilt, ankle rocker, pretty good. So that's pretty much it for articulation on her. Transformation is intuitive. I really like the transformation on this. So let's see, this piece comes off. I'm just going to take it off because pulling on this thing is a kind of a pain. I'm just going to take this piece off as well. So the first thing we're going to do is take these pieces to her arms here and just go bloop, bloop, like that. And then going to kind of dislodge them here kind of get that ready for the next step. So they tab in right here, and you just kind of dislodge the shoulders. Kind of move this whole piece here back. Take this piece, move that up and kind of over the head, and it will need to be rotated there. So you get the slot facing forward, which is this piece here. We'll just leave that off, like I said, for now. You could attach this anytime you want. We're going to do it later. So this piece here stays like that. That will be part of the gas tank. And you want to take the legs, put them all the way up, and to see, I think, turn them around like so. The arms back, twist the arms here, and the arms can go, oh, kind of tab in together like that. You kind of put these, it's kind of sort of like that right there. So this is kind of what you have. Then, so these legs go out. And so once you have both of these legs open like this, so they just tab in. There's a tab down there, and you go ahead and move the feet as well, like this. So there's this tab here and here. They untap from there and tab in right there at the foot, like that, on both sides. Go ahead and move that foot, slot that in. And then the thighs will go around here, the front, forming the sides of the gas tank. Intuitive. I like the way they did this. I think this is very cool. And they kind of go like this. Now, they don't slot anywhere in the front here. This, I think, is something that is annoying, and they should have done. I know it would have put little slots here, but I think they should have found a way. So then we take the back piece right here, the wheel, half the wheel, the other half the wheel, and it tabs basically exactly the same way the front does. You have 2 tabs on one and 1 tab on the other. So you just basically line those up. Here, if I can find either side. There we go, like that. And they form that back wheel. So there we have this portion right now. Now we can go ahead and take this front piece here and just slot that right in there. And take these and do like we did before. Go ahead and then slot it together. So we have this piece right here, and then there's the peg, and same thing we did before, just peg that directly in. That holds pretty well. Then you want to take these pieces here, and they're on a hinge. And what it is so there's a slot right there and a slot right there, and those correspond to this like little L-shaped, T-shaped peg, and a little slot, the little regular slot style peg. So they just kind of fold. And then what you have to do is line these two up like that to get them in. Now this is a really fiddly part, and it is a pain in the ass to do, to get in correctly on both sides. There's one side, and line up the other side. They do not like to get in together. One comes off. But once they're in, it holds really well. It's really solid. It's a really solid bike. Now, I mean, check this out. This bike looks cool. I especially like the translucent windshield. This is all, of course, translucent piece, but it's painted nicely, and it has, the black paint and the blue paint on it, and that matches really well with the other blues, like the blue plastic and the other blue painted bits. They really were able to match the color. I love the sheen on the headlights there. Almost a groove style headlight. Looks really good and rolls really well. Now, lots of paint shows up. There's a couple places that are not painted, like the brakes right here are not painted on the back, but are on the front. I guess that's not too big of a deal, but it looks pretty good. And there's a kickstand, which you can have up or down. And, it looks like that. Also, I'm just now realizing I totally forgot to go over this on the robot mode. As you can see, I'm not a big fan of this thing. Now, this thing does have pegs here and there on either side, and peg holes here, and they have pegs on here. So on the instructions, it shows to go ahead and put those like so on either side of the motorcycle mode, and I guess that works. I mean, it's okay. Either both of them work. Like this. Also, these are both in the instructions on where to place them. I mean, not really much of a seat, I guess, right here. So what does it matter if it's there? And it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess either one of them, it's okay. It is what it is. This is also where they go on robot mode, which I'll show in a few minutes. After comparisons. Doing this review, I realized I have surprisingly few motorcycle Transformers. But here she is with Transformers animated Prowl. Get an idea of the size there. Honestly, Prowl is still one of my all-time favorite transformations. Just a clean bot and vehicle mode. So kind of get an idea here of how these two scale with each other. This being a deluxe, that's about right. That size is about right. Now here she is with spin out. So again, definitely fits that deluxe scaling. But overall, rolls really well. And one thing I do like, since this you could plug this in, you could just kind of turn it. So you could kind of get that little look like it is just sort of sitting there. Realizing I forgot to show these. So these could plug in right here as blades on our arms, sort of like the original had blades on our arms. These are less cool looking. They're little half moons. And they do have ports here, so I guess you could combine other weapons to have her hold weapons on her arms, which might look cool, but I don't know. So that's one thing you could do there if you wish to do it. And there's also ports here, which you could put them on there. You could also have it as kind of like an Energon shield. So you could kind of put it together like this. And they show it like this on the box. Kind of like that, kind of an Energon shield. Which I guess probably looks better than the other way around. Well, in conclusion, this just isn't for me. It's okay. I would much prefer getting the original first edition version, and I think I'm going to hunt that one down. I've always wanted it, and I don't know, I just couldn't find it. I'm going to go for it and actually get that first edition version because it's a really cool looking figure. This one definitely has a Cyberverse feel to it. Now, this is not a bad figure. This is a really good motorcycle figure, and I kind of hope we get a repaint, maybe a groove. I don't know. I would like to see something done with this engineering. I really dig the engineering. I think it's very cool. I like some of the paint work. I like how it looks good. I think overall the joints are tight and it does what it does well. I don't think that it is enough to have a new version of the character when there's a much better one out there. I don't think it's like the Bulkhead, where the Bulkhead does enough different to kind of be a new thing. This kind of feels like it's trying to be the same thing, but not as well. Kind of dumbed down instead of changed. That's how it feels to me. So I'm not going to recommend this figure. Again, I don't think it's a bad figure. So if you like the character and collecting this version of Arcee, I say go for it. If you like motorcycles, go for it. It's a great transformation. It's super fun to do. It's intuitive, and that I give it real thumbs up for. It's pretty cool in that. This one will probably not be staying in my collection. However, I'm glad I got to experience it. So if you came along this far with me, thank you for staying. Again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys next time.